Hey, what is up, viewers? It is Royal Fan Patrick back on a YouTube video, and welcome to a special video. And this is the 2020 year in review. And welcome to this is the first video this year I've ever done. I know throughout the years I've done slideshows of all the interesting stuff that happened, but this year I decided to do a year in review video. So for this video this is on Bible verses only. I'll be telling you guys some interesting moments that happened in 2020, not relating to Corona, because I'm not going to talk about that. Even though Corona did ruin 2020, I'm going to be throwing Corona out the window and telling you guys about the positive moments of 2020. This year was a really good year for church and stuff, and I can't wait to tell you guys all about it. So let's just get into it without further. So we had some guest pastors come and preach at Living Waters this year. One of them was somebody that Rowdy knew. This guy's name was Rick. It was a really interesting. It was a really interesting time, and this guy was going through a big situation. He was stuck somewhere, some country I'm not sure about. And then he was trying to get out of the U.S. Well, he luckily got out of the U.S. And he got to preach. So it was awesome. And what wouldn't a 2020 year in review video be without my favorite pastor? Now, in case you guys didn't know who my favorite pastor is, Rob, don't get me wrong, Pastor Rob, Pastor Glenn, Pastor I are both, all three of them are my favorite pastors. But my biggest favorite pastor, or my favorite pastor of all time, has to be Caesar. So Caesar is another one of those so-called, I'm just going to say guest pastor for this. So this year in 2020, he came to preach. I believe it was in January, and preached a really good sermon. I can't remember what the topic of the sermon was, but just a little side note. Whenever my aunt was taking me to church, it was the same day that my favorite pastor was preaching. And I told her that I watched all four of the sermons that Caesar preached. And she said every time, I guess I'm in the same area or same place with Caesar. I'm the spark that I think that's what she said. I'm the spark that triggers a good old ministering from him. And I've got a lot of good ministerings from Caesar. Basically I've got a lot of good ministerings from him throughout the years. And so it was really nice to see him this year. Another interesting thing that happened in 2020, we had a couple funny moments happen in our in our Bible study. We were only able to have Bible study in person at least one time, and then we had to shut that all down. But Corona didn't stop us from having Bible study. Every Wednesday night, we've been having Bible study online on Zoom, and I really enjoyed that, and I really enjoyed having. I mean, even though I know I've never told you guys this, but I'm very curious of topics, and that's why I decided to talk about these in these videos. Well, then, one of the things was. We talked about kingdom empowerment. That was the first thing we talked about in our on our online Bible study. Then we talked about the Trinity, and then last night, join me in this next video for the Royal Rangers recap. We just finished Revelation, and I can't wait to tell you guys all about that. And well, yeah. Also in 2020, so there was this funny moment that happened in 2020. So. Something happened. One of my friends from church, she's a greaser, by the way. This year in 2020, during one of our Bible studies, Rob lets whoever lets anybody preach or not preach. Um, Rob will let anybody read, and this one time, uh, Billy, what happened was went to open her mic. Well, all of a sudden, instead of a normal voice, it instead turned into like a Mickey Mouse slash chipmunk type voice, and uh, Rob's daughter actually got a kick out of it. I was the one. I got a kick out of it a lot, and it kept happening. It happened. It happened not once, not twice, but like three times, and it was so hilarious. Like it was funny. I mean, I'm not like laughing to hurt feelings, but it was really funny that um, but it was really funny for that happening. Um, so also um So that was a funny moment in 2020. Also in 2020, there were a bunch of changes having to do with Bridge Project. Now, in case you guys didn't know, Bridge Project is a church-based program that happens. It starts every June and ends in July. And what we do is we basically go out in the community and we try and make a difference. And this year, since Corona decided to ruin it, we basically had to be stuck at home. But that didn't stop us. One of the things we did was we planted flowers, and we planted. One of the things we did was plant flowers, make breakfast at home, and make cookies and give them to the neighbors. Those were just some of the things that I really enjoyed. Even though Bridge Project was different, I really enjoyed it. And now it's time for the big moment. Now, this year, this only happened once, but even though it happened once, I really enjoyed it. So, Dave, another friend of mine from church, he's also a greeter, by the way. Um, so every year, this Dave person runs a men's breakfast at Prime Sirloin Buffet in Hollidaysburg. Now, if you guys never been to Prime Sirloin, I recommend you guys go because it's really good. Prime Sirloin is basically like a self-served restaurant where you don't have to where it's not like Denny's or Bob Evans or you know where you have menus and stuff. You get to get up and get whatever you want. Well, in 2020, we only had one chance at it, and so he announced it in December of 2019 that there was going to be a men's breakfast. Believe it was on Saturday, January 7th, 2020, and I don't know if he said something about reservations, but of course, I went on the phone, and called. But luckily, me and my father actually got to go, and we didn't have to worry about reservations. We just got in free, and then we went into the restaurant. We went into Prime Sirloin, and there was a clerk there, and she asked who the person was that ran it and stuff, and my father thought it was a keg of rice. Well, then my mind's like, no way, that wasn't a keg of rice. I actually heard this announcement back in December, and it was Dave doing it, and my father's like, Dave Greer's person, and all that was taken care of. And how it went was we prayed and stuff. We prayed for our food, and then we went ahead and grabbed some breakfast and stuff, and got together, have fellowship and stuff. We actually had some people from church come. We had Rob come. We had Rowdy come. Two of our pastors at Living Waters. We had some friends from church, and let me see. I believe that was about it. And then at the end, Dave basically shared something, from the Word and stuff. And what was so cool about this one was that he shared a verse that actually it was really one of my favorite verses. Um, and I'm just gonna and then I know and basically I remember this verse by heart. It's Song 37:4, and here's what Song 37:4 says: "Take delight in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." And basically, I actually sent my aunt a text saying I'm at Prime Sirloin, and Dave just made my day by reading Song 37:4, also known as DG verse. And that was a memorable moment. Like I said, even though we weren't able to have two opportunities at Prime Sirloin for a men's breakfast, it was still great to have a time of fellowship and get together as a church. Hopefully, let's hope, Lord willing, next year we'll have that same opportunity. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Be sure you join me in the next video as we recap the final Royal Rangers recap of 2020, as we recap the final Bible study of the Book of Revelation. So I hope you guys join me for that. Also, join me this evening for a StreamYard live stream on my other channel, NS Pittsburgh Line Railfan, as we recap as we recap the great Railfan catches of 2020. And yeah, that's about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure you hit that like button, be sure you subscribe, and be sure you ring that bell so you guys can be notified when I upload a new video, so you guys won't miss a single video. That's going to do it for this 2020 year in review video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and until next time we meet again, viewers, in every way, God's way is always the best way.